Reffing is hard. Don't get me wrong, it's not harder than like doctors, surgeons, engineers, but it's still a frustrating job. I'm currently working as a ref and it's pretty breezy to get into, and it doesn't need many requirements to get into the job, so for a first, job, it's pretty good. I've been reffing for around 2 years now, and I've ran into my fair share of crybabies, overprotective parents, and SGAs, and it's ridiculous. Foul? What? It's my video. Why is Shy here? I didn't even touch him! The amount of complaints and sarcasm referees get is so frustrating. Now, I understand people that play sports get competitive and passionate for the game, but that doesn't mean that I need to get a death stare for an obvious foul. Most of the time, most of my games are easy, and people sometimes question calls or throw their hands up, but it's not too bad. Junior games are the easiest, with the price of how boring it is to ref. Short kids miss 90% of their shots, they'll trip over themselves, and there's somehow one under 14 who's over 6'3". It gets difficult once you get into seniors. Both men's and women's games are painful. Men's are difficult depending on the people and the grade, which is like how good their team is skill-wise. If their team is in a high grade, usually they're the nice people. However, if they're in a low grade, they become the next Benson from Regular Show. Basically, you get people who karate chop someone's jaw and then continue to throw their hands up in the air and act like they're playing legal defense, and then complain that this ref is bad. Plus, they act like they're superior and they're in the NBA. Women's games, on the other hand, are easier than men's games, however, they get pissed a little easier. For example, when they get bumped or blocked or shoved, they slowly start to get more and more angry, as if the opposition was doing it on purpose, but this is pretty normal in basketball. However, there are women out there who will also apologise to each other and are pretty wholesome. Majority of the time, people are respectful enough, and I cannot emphasise that this isn't applying to every man or woman I've reffed. I've run into plenty nice people on the court. I'm not kidding, I had a team that prayed before the game and that was so unbelievably nice, I was generally smiling from start to end of the game, thinking these guys were sent straight from heaven to spread happiness in the basketball world. Other times, however, I also get people who generally have no control over their emotions, who you would think are grown toddlers. Recently, there was a stubby, muscly dude going down the court with 20 seconds left in a close game, and he charges in for a layup like a bull and shoulders the defense to the ground. I call a charge and he's mad. He throws his hands up in the air, yells out, "He fouled me!" I ignored him because I wanted this game to end, and after his team loses, he comes up to me and my partner and says, "You made bad call," and then goes on to explain why we made bad calls. Or I made bad calls, sorry. I honestly would have loved to be a smarter, but instead I just stood there and took it. Pause. Because what else can I do? It didn't really bother me, because it was a good call. Then I'm walking off and some other refs who were watching my game said my charge call was good, and they would have done the same, so I felt better about my call. Look, I'm not a bad ref, but I'm not perfect, so I judge my call even if it is good, so to hear this really helped boost my confidence. Another time, hey, come back here, no, stop, listen. There we go. Another time, I called a technical foul on a guy. He kept slapping the offense's neck almost every time they went up for a layup, and I kept calling the foul. Eventually, he kept getting more and more frustrated after each call. Then I called out of bounds, which I can't lie, I may have mistakenly called, but I believed it was out of bounds from what I saw, unless I was like so abnormally tired from reffing like all the other games. Either way, it wasn't that serious, and it was not that close of a game. He turns to me, flexes every muscle in his body, and yells out, "What the fuck?" So I obviously call a tech. It makes me reflect, like there are full-grown men who get this upset in a low-level men's game. They honestly treat it like an NBA game, like if they lose, the whole city is gonna burn down. Like the Knicks.
Oh, bro.
I'm not an NBA ref. Due to the fact that I ref, I have way more respect for referees in the NBA and AFL, all because they cop so much shit from others so frequently, and I don't know how they deal with the threats they get. Mentally, the job is draining, and in comparison to other casual and low-paying jobs, I think reffing's hard. The job itself isn't hard, such as learning the calls and making the calls and officiating the game, but the people you have to deal with are unbelievable. I've only seen two times a fight has almost broken out, and it's ridiculous. Spectators and coaches who will compliment you from time to time, and other referees who are some of the nicest people, and they're all really supportive. I think it's a good job to get because it's great at helping you get thicker skin, as well as thinking under pressure. It teaches me good skills like communication, because I have to use my voice to voice a lot of my concerns, fouls, and to explain why I made the calls that I did. Of course, in any sport, there'll be people who are just constantly furious, no matter the call, and I'm not perfect, so still to this day I make a lot of bad calls, but I do make a lot of good calls, and with time, I'll improve. It's good pay for me currently, and hopefully soon I'll have a car. If anyone has any questions about reffing, comment and I'll reply as soon as I can. I know people have to deal with much more crap daily. If anyone has any work stories and wants to one-up me, go ahead. I'd love to hear about it. I just wanted to talk about this because I thought it'd make a good story. Thank you guys for tuning in, and hopefully you guys have a great day. Wait. Shy? No. Get away from me. I'm not failing you. How is that? 2 shots. He attacked me. This is my video. Why is Shy in it?